welcome to a new video. Today is March 11th, 2022. I am currently in room 2 with these two little ladies. Here's that calf with the black tongue. My sister named her Asquith, like the bard from The Witcher. I think it suits her very well. And then this is Crescent, like crescent moon. She was born yesterday. And then we've got a couple of empty pens that are ready to go. But I'm in here right now to bed up the rest of the pens and add pails to the other side because there aren't any in there. So let's get started. I've gotten all of the bags of shavings distributed. They're all filled with 3 bags of shavings. And over here I made a big makeshift garbage so it's easier to put the leftover bags in there. But I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about why I wear a mask when I bed up calves in a room like this. But the importance of wearing a mask when you're working with shavings is something that we call long-term exposure. So what I mean by that is it might not be harmful for the first 1, 10, 20, 100 times that I do it, but over time, long-term exposure or prolonged time in a certain environment is gonna have an effect on my health and anybody's health who's doing it. So it's kind of like smoking a cigarette. You do it once, it's not gonna hurt you. You might even do it 20 or 100 times and it might not hurt you. But if you keep doing it for years and years and years, it's going to have some sort of a long-term effect on your health. So that's why I like to wear a mask, because breathing in shavings particles isn't actually healthy for you. So I like to increase my chances of having a healthy respiratory system for the length of my life by using a mask. Now I know there are going to be some people out there that argue, well, why don't you give the calves a mask? It's because they do not experience long-term exposure. Calves are bedded on shavings for maybe 2 months of their life, tops. And then after that, never again. So they're bedded up on shavings that are also settled. So once the calf is actually put onto this bed of shavings that has had 3 bags of shavings on there, it's been settled pretty well, so it's not even that dusty anymore. And then the couple of times that I do end up bedding up calves, it's not going to have that huge of an effect on their health just because they're not doing it for such a long time. I might have just like 7 or 8 times in their lifetime bedding up, but that's not going to add up to the amount of times that I am going to be exposed to this air full of shavings if I have to bed them up all the time, right? So that's why I wear a mask, and that's why the calves don't wear a mask. Right? So it's a few hours later. I ended up having to make a little trip to the city and to milk cows, so I'm just gonna finish bedding up this room now. The pails are all in there. My sister helped bring the rest of them in and put them into the holders. So yeah, time to finish this room. So this room is completely done, bedded up, ready to go. The panels are in, the pins are in the panels, the pails are in the holders, and there's even 2 calves in the first 2 pens. So, ready to go. I'm excited to see which new calves we're gonna be having to come into these new pens. One thing I do want to mention though, because I've been asked it a couple of times, is why we use bagged shavings and not just a pile of shavings and bring them in with the loader or a wheelbarrow. And the simple fact of it is that the weather is a huge factor out here in Saskatchewan. Right now we're probably sitting with about 3 or 4 feet of snow that's been coming in over the winter. If we have a pile of shavings outside that we just bring in with the pail loader, it's gonna bring in a lot of snow with it, which isn't really good for shavings because if you've got shavings that are wet and then they dry up again, there is a chance of mold, which is something that we don't want to bring into the calf pens. And also rain during the summer and wind. Here in Saskatchewan, the wind is such a huge factor. If we have a pile of shavings sitting outside and it gets really windy, as it does out here on the prairie, we're gonna be losing a lot of the shavings in that pile. So that's why we like to bring in shavings in individual bags on pallets, because it just saves a lot of trouble for us that way. And we do find that the bags of shavings are easier to work with than, say, shoveling it all into a wheelbarrow and then dumping it into a pen. So I'm just doing a last little check of the pregnant packs before I go home. And I do see that this cow here is walking around with her tail up with a little bit of mucus coming out from the vulva. And so that means that she's most likely going to calve soon, within the next little while. So she'll probably have a calf by the time morning milking comes around. So we'll be watching her. Just to make sure everybody's doing good. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and share with a friend. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.